although I work with children a lot as a school teacher, this lecture I aim to have a little bit of something for everybody. So for astrologers, some tools for your toolkit. For parents, a better understanding of your children, because unfortunately they don't come with owner's manuals or any sort of advice about how to bring them up, and also how siblings might have how their relationship works. If it's any school teachers out there, I'm really keen to hear what you have to say, and eager to work with you. And every one of us has been through adolescence. So this is also going to be a session about looking back on your own adolescence and maybe trying to work out just some of the issues you may have had that still affect you, even though you're a fully grown adult. Now, we are all authority figures in one way or another. So this webinar really is for has something for everybody. So we know Jupiter as being the wielder of thunderbolts and lightnings, the god of gods. And I just want to kind of open up with an Orphic prayer to Jupiter. I don't want to read the whole thing. I just want to look at a few keywords, because this is how we understand Jupiter. So I'm just going to read the first verse, and if you want to read the rest, you're more than welcome. But I just want to highlight the keywords here. O Jove much honored, Jove supremely great, to thee our holy rites we consecrate, our prayers and expiations, King divine. For all things round thy head exalted shine. The earth is thine, and mountains swelling high. And this first verse and the rest of the prayer, it sort of describes Zeus or Jupiter very, very well, about how we handle our power, and how we have choices to make, and how we wield those thunderbolts and lightning, because we all have Jupiter somewhere in our chart. I was very much drawn to the word scepter, because it always seemed to me when I was younger and looking at scepters, that they seemed kind of useless. They just seemed to be like, if it was supposed to be a weapon, it didn't seem to be something that would be very effective. And it just seemed to be something that would keep your hands from being able to be freely used. So I was very drawn to the idea of what a scepter is. And I was looking back through different cultures, and what I was looking at was at how different cultures define scepters. So they seem to be symbols of power, even in the Egyptian sort of reign. They were carried by priests and pharaohs. And amongst the Etruscans from 650 BC, the scepters had a great magnificence, and they were also used by kings and people of the priesthood. But I found out recently that the equivalent in Sanskrit is a Vajra, which was used by the god Indra. And they have the properties of being indestructible, like diamonds. And so the Sanskrit word has both of these meanings of being indestructible and like diamonds. So the Hindu god Indra, a very interesting god, is always on his white elephant, and he's always carrying this Vajra in his hand. And it's mentioned in the earliest translations of the Vedas. And here it is in Sanskrit. And let me tell you of the deeds of Indra. It ties in the bolts of lightning to our understanding of the Greek or the Roman god Jupiter. Also bringing into scepters, when I think of scepters, I think of something to do with royalty. And this is the sovereign scepter that was created in 1631. And this thing, if you see it with the other crown jewels on the Tower of London, it looks pretty impressive. In fact, it looks so impressive it almost looks fake. But it is loaded with some of the best gems in the world. So 333 diamonds, 31 rubies, and it has the great star of Africa, and it's the largest clear-cut diamond in the world. So this is all on display for a price in the Tower of London. So it seems to me that a scepter is also tied in with wealth, not only power, but being extremely valuable. So the scepter started to change, of course, with the advent of Christianity. We started seeing crosses added to it rather than Zeus's emblem, which is the eagle. And here is the scepter with the other crown jewels. So Jupiter seems to be tied in with power, wealth, religion, and being the god of gods. And this also is the definition of Indra in the Sanskrit as well, in the Hindu tradition. But we also know that Jupiter can be very problematic. So I thought this is really funny. I like memes, but this what causes the most problems in Greek mythology. Well, Zeus can't keep it in his pants. He gets himself in trouble. He becomes overconfident and he starts taking advantage and he seizes opportunities and he gets himself into trouble. And we know that he has his wife Hera, the long-suffering Hera, and I just love it that the spacecraft Hera, which even today orbits Zeus. So you know the spacecraft seems to be still watching over Zeus, keeping an eye on him. Zeus being Zeus and having lots of different affairs, he has lots of different children, and he has transformed himself into various forms to take advantage of every opportunity that comes his way. So he has over 100 children, and these are just a few of the most famous of his offspring. Astronomically, Jupiter is fascinating because it has lots of different moons, lots of different asteroids going around it. Now, it might look like Saturn in the middle, but it's not. It's just the various moons going around in the middle. And then it has various orbits, all going around in different directions. And I find this fascinating because Jupiter has the confidence to manage all this stuff going around him. And, you know, everything is sort of predictable and everything, you know, just rolls on without any problems really. So Indra's importance in the Vedas, he also got himself into a lot of trouble for the same things that the Greek and Roman Zeus or Jupiter got himself into trouble for being drunk, for his affairs, for all sorts of mischief that he caused. Um, Also, Jupiter and Indra were known for not being terribly kind to humans.